Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? We are the Nerd Out. My name is Alec.
And LeeAnn.
We are married, and we
are.
bicker about superhero nerd stuff, everything you can think of. So we thought we would start a podcast, vlog, whatever, where we give you a topic every week.
Yep.
We do either our top 5 from movies, sitcoms, shows, superhero stuff, Harry Potter stuff. No Star Wars stuff, guys. So
Sorry.
if you are looking for Star Wars stuff, this is the wrong place.
Hate. It's just not our thing.
Yeah, it's just not our jam.
We have a lot of things, but that's not it.
Yep. So this is our very first one. We're going to bring you one every week. And we're going to post on our Facebook page, and then we will give you more information about other platforms we're going to be going on as we kind of grow and see what this turns into.
Yeah.
We're not really sure
and
yet,
how we figure it out, because we're just starting out here.
So this is the Nerd Out. Check us out on Facebook. Let us know what you think, and we are really excited to do this because we go see a movie or we watch a show, and we just debate.
Yeah,
for
this has been
hours on end.
The biggest part of our marriage
Yep.
is the Marvel universe.
Yep. Batman.
Debating the DC universe.
Yeah, well,
We
that's
both love Batman.
the rise and the fall of the DC universe.
That's it for a different show.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We should probably let you know where we are. We are in the Bat Bar, where we'll be every
Bat
time,
Bar.
which is, if you haven't guessed it, Batman specific.
Yes, it's very Batman specific. And if you bring other things down, you're like, you should hang this up. Alec will be like, no.
No, I'm not really interested in that. So,
Oh, thank you.
that's my jam. Harry Potter is
Potter
LeeAnn's
is my thing.
She absolutely loves it. I've seen the Harry Potter movies more
together.
times than I can count.
Yeah.
So every week we'll give you
my comfort movies.
I completely get that.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do our first topic, and this week's topic is top 5 Marvel villains.
Yes.
Of
our top 5.
Yes, our top 5, obviously.
Each one of us separately.
We're not trying to insinuate what you guys think is the top 5.
And we're also not saying we're experts on any of these platforms.
Yeah, so don't trace it back like, in this comic book back in 1985. This is just our thoughts on it. So
we are big fans.
Take it with a grain of salt, I guess.
We're big fans. But I haven't studied everything about any of these things. This is just our
interpretation.
Our personal take.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we want to be clear. When we say our top 5 villains, this is from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Specific.
Leading up to Endgame. So
including Endgame.
Yeah, including Endgame. Not any of the new shows that have come out on Disney
for
Plus.
I wanted to use those.
It's tough, but
that's for a different episode, I guess.
We're trying to keep this to half an hour, and if we expand it that long, it'd probably be like 4 hours.
We could talk forever.
I gotta work tomorrow. We got stuff to do. So
we got kids to take care of.
Yeah. They're somewhere, aren't they?
Yeah.
Where are they?
No, they're in bed. They're safe. It's okay.
Okay, so I think we're gonna just lead up 5-1. Keep in mind that me and LeeAnn, we have not told each other our top 5. I imagine we'll arrive at some of the same conclusions.
I bet so, but I think that our number one, our order will be different for sure.
100%, just based on personal experiences.
Yep. We have no idea what the other one picked.
Yep.
So,
we're gonna do 5 leading up to 1. Ladies first, I think. Yeah.
So my 5th, my
your lowest
on the totem pole.
Correct.
But still my top.
Top 5 Marvel villains. Go.
Okay, this is controversial. I'm going with Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
As a villain.
All right.
Only because there's a couple definitions on villain, but the actual definition is a character whose evil actions or motives are important to the plot. And I think that if you go and take evil out, she kind of goes for herself. It's emotion based. Mm-hmm. And that can be interpreted as evil if it's not for the greater good, especially by some of the other Avengers.
So I actually agree with this on some portion. I'm half and half with you, because when she started, obviously we saw her first in Age of Ultron, and she was being manipulated
easily. It's emotion based.
Using her powers for bad. So I could see how she could be a villain. Obviously, she turned good, and
it's so emotion based for her though. So when her brother dies, her eyes glow. when Thanos kills the love of her life, her eyes glow. Her power is
like you took everything from me, and
I
don't even know who you are.
Her power is enraged by vengeance, which is not always good.
Yeah.
Understandable, which I think that's what makes villains my favorite. Is if you can be like, all right, well, like I get why you feel that way. The
main thing with any villain is you have to have motive for what you're doing. You can't just want to destroy everything for no reason. So I agree with that. It's a lot of times it is emotion based. And
the actress did an amazing job.
Yep.
The best of the Olsens, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, It Takes Two. It Takes Two is a great movie. So. Right? That was awesome.
that was so
I was going to say Parent Trap, but that's not them. That's
not even twins. That's just Lindsay Lohan.
So you want to do my top 5, or you want to go through your whole list first?
I think we should go back and forth.
Okay.
What's your 5?
All right. So my number 5 is Ronan the Accuser.
Okay.
From Guardians of the Galaxy. It's played by Lee Pace, which he was in some of the Lord of the Rings movie. Just a very dark, deep voice. And I love that he is just very crazy ambitious.
Yeah.
And he's just like one of those people, like, nothing is going to stop me. And also, he's got like Thanos hanging over his head and being like, no, you have to listen to me. And he's like, I'm not doing that.
And that's his motivation, is just to be the best and to conquer.
Correct.
So that's what his motivation is. It's completely understandable.
So, and I also like the very first time you see him, he's in his ship and he just takes this big ass club and beats the living crap out of someone, just like doesn't care at all. Like, so immediately you get like that very, very creepy vibe. So
you really enjoy it right off the bat, like crazy.
Yeah, like you know exactly what you're getting. So that's my 5. And also, I love the fact that Ronan the Accuser has no idea what a dance-off is at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy is so good at those little moments that bring you back to, like, a reality that could be your own. Where they're like, oh, a dance-off. And you're like, oh, that's a real thing in real life. It's as silly as it is.
What are you doing? He just, like, he doesn't break stride. He's still so serious the whole time. So that's my number 5.
All right.
So
it's not on my list.
No, I didn't think it would be
on my radar.
I didn't think it would be, but now that you've heard it, you can see.
I can see why it's yours.
Okay, all right,
but not mine.
You're like, no, but you're wrong. But nice try. So
yeah.
Okay, so move on to number 4. So what is your number 4?
My number 4 is the Grandmaster, and this is because
that's so funny. I didn't even think of that.
That Goldblum. I just love him. I love him. He acted it perfectly. The whole, like, gladiator-esque, like, I just have power for no reason. And he's not my usual type of villain I would like, but I just have all this power, so fight each other, because I say so. And the staff, just melting people, yes.
The melt stick or whatever they call it. Yeah.
I'm not going to melt you. Like, just chill out. Yeah.
That's pretty good because he is, a dictator in trash world in Thor.
And like, I love when him and Loki always finds a person like that. And so it made him a bigger piece of the puzzle. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if they bring him back, but it's Jeff Goldblum being very Jeff Goldblum.
They don't even need to bring him back. Like
he didn't even need to be the Grandmaster. They could have just called him Jeff Goldblum in that movie.
Yeah, he's just in this universe as himself doing this hilarious thing because he's everything. You didn't even think about it.
I didn't even think about it because I like him so much, I didn't think about him as like a villain.
He's definitely a villain.
That's crazy. Yeah. So mine are definitely going to be darker than yours.
Oh no, I'm about to it gets crazier. That was just my wild card of like, okay, like he is though one of my favorite villains. Yeah. He's just one of my favorite off the wall characters in the whole shebang. And
that really turned the Thor series into a legitimate player.
It did.
Unbelievable. I could rewatch that.
Was he not legitimate before? This is a different debate.
We'll probably hold off on that one. But I mean, the first Thor movie and the second Thor movie even wasn't that great.
Yeah, but in the Avengers movies, he was a key player and necessary to play off of like all the other personalities.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. We'll leave it at that.
Different conversation. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying tangents.
Yeah. So what's
dangerous tangents?
What's your 4?
Okay, so my 4th one was in Captain America: Civil War. Helmut Zemo, played by Daniel Bruhl, and very calculating, very trauma-based, like his whole family drama behind that. Yeah. He's listening to voicemails from his wife, and you think, but they're actually dead the whole time. Yeah. And he knows he can't beat any of the superheroes, so he's just the mastermind behind it all.
You'll just get up on YouTube and play me the parts of the voicemails and stuff. Yeah, that's it.
Big twist. And you saw Daniel Bruhl in Inglourious Bastards, and unbelievable. So that for me was just taking them to the brink. When they find out, when Iron Man finds out that Captain America knows that Winter Soldier killed his parents. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you're right there, and it was just he wasn't trying to even kill the other Winter Soldiers or bring them back.
Those are such well acted roles.
Yeah,
like those movies have a little bit more of that dramatic acting than some of the others. I'm not saying that it's the only one that has that, but
that movie had the best balance, I think, of like comedy, which you want them playing off each other, and it gets very, very serious, obviously. So that's my number 4. So
cool.
So move on to 3. So go, do it.
Number 3.
Yep.
Hela, Odin's daughter.
Yeah. No, that is a good one. Kate Blanchett.
Yes. Okay. So that's what
I love. Chameleon of acting.
She played it like so Wicked Witch of the West, so theatrical, so the evil queen. Mm-hmm. It was that the theater geek inside me,
ruthless,
loved her interpretation of it and her reasoning. Mm-hmm. She really is the heir to the throne. She really deserves to have Asgard, which is terrible, but she does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really her planet.
I think ruthless, super sexy too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like when she took her hair back and then
this thing.
But yeah,
she was just like transformed.
I was like, you might kill me, but I'm also very attracted to you. I 100% agree. And I didn't have that on my list.
I love the part where she it just falls from the ceiling and you just see what they did, and you're like, it makes so much sense. Yeah. It's like that piece of the puzzle that you go, that's the meat and potatoes of the Thor story, really, is that, there's this dark history, and they allude to it with the way that we get Loki and how Loki came about and stuff, but, yeah.
I also think they do a really good job of, in the Thor, like, we're talking about thousands of years that they are existing and going through. Right. So when all that trauma compounds over,
lifetimes.
different that amount of lifetimes, it really solidifies.
And is it Scourge? Is that the little dude's name?
Oh, Keith Urban.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I forget that's him.
I think it's Scourge, yeah. Wow. Maybe we'll look it up. That's what we got phones for.
But yeah, he was just like the little extra.
The perfect little lap dog.
And then
at the end, he grows a conscience at the end.
Alert. I guess I didn't think
well,
of that.
if you guys haven't seen these movies by yet,
don't watch this.
Don't watch this. So everyone's like, "Oh, they're nerds. They're going to talk about Star Wars." No, we're not. We're not.
No.
So that's your jam. If I get told one more time that I have to watch The Mandalorian, I might lose it. That's it. Neither here nor there. Was that was your number 3, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so I'll do my number 3s before I get off on topic. So, I'm going, that's crazy, my list keeps going back to Guardians of the Galaxy. But
that is crazy, because that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's yours. But I'm going with Ego, played by Kurt Russell.
I toyed with it. He's not on my list, but I toyed with that.
So, I think one of the hardest things was to make a planet and make it villainous and very...
What a fun choice of actor.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
Just so believable to be Ego. Not that there's anything wrong with Kurt Russell. I'm just saying, you can see how he would like that
and
fun role.
He really dove in. What I loved about it is the whole duality between him and Chris Pratt, Star-Lord's character. And at the end, how he's the one, that killed his mom.
Speaking of Star Warsy, though.
Yeah, a little bit. So I guess so. Oh, maybe I'm doubling down on that. So
speaking of Star Wars,
but
a little bit of a parallel.
There's the part where he's using him to build his power to consume the universe, and he's just like, he gives great monologues, great acting, and I think he really did it justice, and that's really hard to do when it's a planet person, all that stuff.
It was weird, but well done weird. It was understandable in a situation that should not have been able to understand.
Yeah, and when you can humanize a planet,
crazy.
Yeah, it's great. So that's my number 3. So.
Oh my goodness, we're at number 2.
Yeah, already. So.
Okay, so I think my number 2 is your number 1.
I imagine these are going to be switched. So, what's your number 2?
Thanos.
No, that's.
Do we have the same number 2 and number 1?
Go ahead. Give me a reason. I'll give you mine. So.
I know what it's like to lose, to feel so desperately. You're right, yet to fail nonetheless is frightening. Turns the leg to jelly. I ask you, to what end? Dread it, run from it. Destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here, or should I say, I am.
Yeah.
So I think that he is justified in the beginning of his quest in his feelings. Mm-hmm. That as he's going, he gets a little bloodlust and he enjoys it. Mm-hmm. But then he remembers himself in the beginning when he meets Gamora, and I just love that he finds a little bit of his humanity in Gamora.
He really thinks he loves her.
Yeah, he finds some of what he thought he was doing what he was doing out of love in the beginning.
Yep.
And then I feel like it gets away from him. Like I said, this is just my interpretation. And then finds humanity again in Gamora. And I just really like that. And then in the end, when they kill him, he looks completely at peace with being killed. I think that it was just all full circle. He was like, this is, like he knew or something. He
knew it could only happen one of 2 ways.
Yeah.
And if it didn't happen his way, then he would accept his fate.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's that's a good villain. Josh Brolin did an amazing job with that. And I was really worried because when you saw a little clip of Thanos at the end of Avengers on the scene, I was like, this is going to be so stupid. And they really just...
If you just looked at it now and you had no idea what it was, you'd be like, what is that? Like, what's that big purpley dude? Like, I don't get
it. and even though I can admit that he still looks a tiny bit silly, the way that they brought him in at the beginning, when they kill Loki and that serious monologue that you said, we're just like, oh, there's no more playing around anymore. Like, there's no jokes. Like, this is serious.
Because all roads lead back to Loki.
Yeah, exactly. So
Loki
we'll get there. So since my number 2 is the same, it was Thanos. I actually thought it would be switched.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of my thing with him and his humanity.
Maybe I thought mine would be switched, but the reason that I love Thanos so much is because, once again, you have to make a CGI character, and you have to make it make sense, believable, have motive.
Yeah.
And they really do all those things with Josh Brolin so well.
It was so good.
And he's ruthless, but he also has this deep sense of what he thinks is family. Like, he really thinks he loves Gamora.
Yeah, and he thinks that what he's doing
like, when he's sacrificing her, he's actually crying. Which, I still think, like, he still doesn't care. But I think he's convinced himself.
Oh my gosh, he cares.
I think he's convinced himself to care that much.
He thinks that what he's doing is absolutely right. We've debated this for 1,000 years.
Yes, we have. It's kind of the whole reason for this. We get all this shit out of the open. So.
I think he truly believes that he's just and correct, and that what he's doing is necessary. Like I said, I think he gets carried away and into it too much, but I think he cares about her.
Yeah.
He does.
I could be wrong about that. That's just...
Well, I mean, we'll never know. Like I said, this is like, we can't get into Thanos' head because he's sadly fictional. Well, no, not sadly. It would be bad if he was real, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
It'd be really bad.
Whatever you said.
It'd be really bad if Thanos was real.
That's funny. I don't know what else I want to say about it, but I was just... obviously, everything with Marvel I'm really impressed with. Obviously... My favorite thing is Batman, and I'm back and forth about what they've done with their universe. And we'll get into that.
Yeah, that'll be a whole thing.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole thing, too.
It will be. But we agree on a lot of that. So that'll be just discussion, mostly.
Just so you know how much of nerds we are, so we've gone to every single Marvel movie for the whole Endgame thing leading up to it, we were both like crying at the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
Like we're like, no, what's going on?
I have been 9 months pregnant, having contractions.
And Infinity War. She was 9 months pregnant on Infinity War.
The entire movie, I'm having contractions. I'm like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I've waited too long for this.
My baby will be an Infinity baby.
Yep.
So we've really been invested, like a lot of people have. That's why it's so popular.
That's a big part of our marriage.
Yeah. And
it is still. I mean, but it feels like that part ended. Now we're finding new in the TV shows and the new series.
And
it's a new thing.
When it was done, we were like, oh, this is it. It's over. It's actually
so sad.
We've actually been really pleasantly surprised about where everything's been going, which I will obviously get more into.
There's not one I'm like upset about or like why would they do that or how did they do that. I have been in the concept situation, like when I heard it before I watched the series or saw someone.
Like, why?
They always
and how?
They always flip it for me.
And why?
All right, sorry.
Well, obviously, we're both going to have the same number ones. But
Ready?
you go ahead. So
obviously, it's Loki. Obviously. He's...
Shock.
Because all roads lead back to him. If you go back through all these other great villains, all the roads lead back to Loki.
Well, he's the one that started all this, you know?
Yeah.
He started the whole New York thing, so... He's got his... When it's advantageous for him, he does it. When it's not, he backs off and he helps. And he really... Tom Hiddleston just plays the back and forth.
Perfect in this.
The survival instinct. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Loki's whole thing is a survival instinct when he does all his mischievousness.
Obviously,
and when he goes back and forth, he
was really malicious before, but then in Ragnarok, he took, like... They made him a little more playful in order to... He couldn't just keep being the bad guy the whole time. Like, you had to show different sides to Loki. And, like, to your point of saying it's been thousands of years these people have lived, they're going to have ebbs and flows in how they function.
Yeah. I think the main thing with Loki, what I always like, is that he acts like he never cares. And, of course, he does care. When you see Thanos killing Thor, like, you see in his face...
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't kill him, obviously, when he's trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And you see his face, and he's like, I don't care. Hold on, I really care. Stop it. No, don't do it.
Because he's selfish.
Yeah.
But he's not...
He still has something for family.
Yeah.
So.
And when you see Thanos kill him, you realize that Thanos is a game changer.
Yep. Because Loki has been unkillable.
He's gotten away with everything.
Yeah.
So when you see him actually...
Which obviously he still came back.
Well, you know what I mean? But when you see that and you're like waiting for him to pop up somewhere because that's what always happens, you realize that, this thing is going to be ending because Thanos is so big that it's gonna be a thing. You know? That's
you have the same scene where he kills Loki and he also beats the crap out of the Hulk, and you're like, okay, like this
so
is.
You're like, this guy is a new brand.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's all roads lead back to Loki. So you have to say that Loki is the best Marvel Cinematic Universe villain.
And just obviously casting for Marvel has been amazing, and with the casting also brings in great directors. So that's kind of my big thing is I really love directors and I follow them. And if a director makes a movie, and I will just follow everything they do, good or bad, just because I feel like I like that style a lot.
And actors, that's a big thing for us too. I think that we'll be, as time goes on, we'll be having talks about actors. Not everything will be a list, but I think that's one that we'll have lists of underrated actors and actresses and overrated actors and actresses, because that is something we debate in this household all the time.
That's true. So that's
it.
That is our list.
That's the nerd out for today.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We're going to give you guys more content every week. We're going to upload a new video.
We'll just keep getting better, hopefully.
Yeah. And you can appreciate this sign that LeeAnn made. So
yeah, maybe we'll get a real one. But this
can you tell it's our first episode?
Yeah.
Maybe episode. That's pretty cool to have an episode.
It's fun.
So thank you guys. I've been Alec. She has been LeeAnn, and
I still am LeeAnn.
We are the Nerd Out. So
so nerd out.
Yeah, there's your thing. Yeah.
I've been waiting for that.